Hello, welcome back, you guys. Today we're going to be looking at how to work with lattices and Maya here. So let's jump in. Here we have this rig I've been working on. I'll talk more about this rig and model and what I'm working on later. But for today, I want to look at how to use a lattice to give us a squash and stretch. I like to use this, for instance, for like the head. We want to have it squash or stretch, or for instance, like our backpack right here. This is really nice, and you can get some cool animations, effects with this. So let's go ahead and jump into it. First, we're going to look at how the lattice can work, how it can use our lattice. So for instance, let me make our object selectable. There we go. Alright, and now if we say we select this area, okay, we'll isolate this. Alright, so say we select this area right here and we want this to have a lattice. What we can do is come up to our deform and just throw a lattice on that guy, like so. And if we mess with the lattice points, of course it affects like so. So you could use this for anything you want, clothing, objects, skin, anything really. It's just quick and easy, very simple to do. Okay, so now what we want to do is actually throw this on our character. We're going to use our character's face. And what I want to do is I want it to affect the face, the eyes, the eyebrows, and let's see, I don't know if we want to affect the mouth or not. Inside of the mouth. We'll go ahead and affect the mouth as well. Alright, so we want to first make sure we grab all the assets that we want to select, and I have multiple, two eyes for each inner and outer, and I'll grab our eyebrows. There we go. Alright, so these are the objects I want to manipulate. There we go. Eye spec as well. Alright, so these are objects we want to manipulate. I haven't finished editing the eyelashes and hair, so we're just gonna leave those, and I'll mess with those later. But let's go ahead and isolate these objects, and that way I can go ahead and select them. So to select all the objects together, you click F8, and now we're in component mode. So for instance, first let me select head. Might just be able to select everything like this. Alright, there we go. That looks good enough for me. That's a good selection. You can also just click and then double click the next vertex and it'll just select that object. But right now I just want to get the head. We'll use this method. Alright, so your object is selected, and this is what I want to be affected by our lattice. So we're going to come up here to deform and find our lattice. Where are we? Lattice. And then if let me reset this. So we're gonna uncheck local mode. If you want local mode on, it allows you to control the influence of your lattice. But we're gonna take it off. I'm gonna change this to 4 and 2 and 2, and we're gonna go ahead and create our lattice right here. And as you can see, our settings are right here. So if we want to, for instance, change this to 3, we can. And I think that's what I want to do, change it right there. And obviously the more divisions, the more resolution, the more you can affect it. Right now I just want to affect really the top and the bottom. So we're just going to leave these settings right here. So now that this is done, what we want to do is... What we want to do is go ahead and select some vertex points. So the top one will be 1 control, and what we want to do is just come up to deform and throw a cluster on this guy. So cluster, and then this will be our next selection set. Our next controller. And same thing, come up to deform and throw a cluster on that guy. And our last set right here, same thing, come up to cluster. Now we have 3 clusters which we'll throw controls on, and yeah, we're almost there. So when we grab our cluster, it affects the lattice like so, and we'll just go ahead and parent a control so we can select the control instead of this small cluster right here. So let's go back here, and let's go ahead and go into curves and quickly put our curve into place. I'm just eyeballing this. It really doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a representation, really. Alright, that looks good. Go ahead and Control D, bring it down to our next one. Here, and Control D, bring it down to our last one right here. And we're going to go ahead and select all of our controls and come up here and go ahead and freeze those transforms, so the animator can always reset if they need to. Alright, so now we'll grab the first one and the first cluster and just click P, and let's see if this worked. Sometimes I get this backwards, so yep, there we got it backwards. So let's go ahead and go back, cluster, curve, P. Alright, there we go. And now it's working fine. So we'll go ahead and do the other ones. P. And grab the last one, and P. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and hide these clusters since I don't need them anymore. And let's go ahead and make sure everything is working. Alright, cool. Very cool. Alright, now that we have this set up, I want to go ahead and hide this guy since we don't need it anymore. I do need to go ahead and change the Let's transform. Okay, make sure you unclick inhibit transform on the lattice, otherwise you will have issues later on. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and group all these controls. With Control G, go there in the group, and we'll just call it squash. Squash head. Underscore control. There we go. And I'm grabbing our lattice right here. And if you look at our hierarchy, ignore how horrible it looks, but right here is our head. I'm gonna go ahead and drag it into our head. So middle mouse scroll and drag right up to our head like so. Now let's go ahead and make sure everything is working as it should. I'm not sure why it's not letting me grab anything in the viewport right now. I'll figure that out later. Alright, everything seems to be working. Let's check our... Alright, there we go. Alright, now we are moving our head, and the controls are following, and it doesn't look like we have any distortion. So I would say this is good, and when you animate, or when the animator animates, they can go ahead and squash things down and it'll be good to go. I'll have to fix the eyebrows later. But yeah, and the hair, I have to make a rig for the hair. I'm not quite finished on the hair. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the same thing on our little backpack right here. I haven't finished rigging the backpack. The only thing I've done is parented the body to that. That'll be a different day. I'll have to finish doing that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How to create a little lattice control. I will show off this model just quickly. I'm not going to do a full overview. I'll do that later once I get things more, when I have more to show off for the project I'm working on. So yeah, this is the model I've been working on. I am going through Anton Paragon's videos. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, he is fantastic, and he makes learning rigging pretty simple, even though this is a pretty complex subject if you ask me. But yeah, this is kind of our rig right here. We've done. I'm not using lattice for the eyebrows. I am using a bone and cluster setup. But you know, of course, you could use lattice for different things. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.